Where are we? Are you surprised? This is the house for me and my husband. What? I was completely surprised. To be honest, the house was too luxurious that it didn't suit my in-laws. Well, my in-laws are free to define their own happiness however they want, so I can't really say anything about it. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you two get to enjoy life like this. Yes, I'm really happy.
Now then, Sasha, let's get down to business. I'm counting on you to pay the loan.
Huh? What on earth are you talking about? Because you're paid well, right? Then you can at least pay the loan, right?
There's no way I'm going to pay that.
Why not? If you thought of us, you would pay it, wouldn't you?
No, I'm sorry, but this doesn't make any sense at all.
How much is the loan anyways?
It's a 15-year loan, $2,000 per month.
Excuse me? That's even more impossible. This is just unacceptable. What in the world are my parents-in-law thinking? It is unbelievable of them to try to collect that much money from me. My name is Sasha. I'm 30 years old and I work at an international company. When I was a student, I studied hard and was able to go to a prestigious, well-known university. And because of that, I was blessed with a job and was able to work for a major foreign affiliated company. After that, I spent very busy days at work. My work-centered life seemed to suit me very well, and I worked hard and achieved results. Although I was leading a fulfilling life in this way, it was also true that I was feeling somewhat lonely. That is when I met Paul, who later became my husband. My encounter with Paul was a little unusual. We met in an elevator in an office building. I was just on my way to the floor where my client's company was located. Then trouble happened, and the elevator stopped. It was me and Paul who were trapped alone in the elevator. I had never experienced anything like this before, so I panicked a lot. I talked to the button on the elevator to call the rescue team, and they said it would take 30 minutes for them to arrive. Oh, what should I do? I'll be late for my meeting. There's no signal, so I can't call them. Paul, who was in the elevator with me, laughed as I mumbled this.
No, I'm sure you'll be fine. Because if you're heading to the office in this building, everyone must know that the elevator stopped, and no one would blame you for being late because of being stuck in the elevator.
You're right. I am the type of person who doesn't feel comfortable unless everything is perfect, and I have a strong feeling that I should not be rude to others. That's why I was surprisingly weak in situations like this. Paul calmly assessed the situation and calmed me down a little. But my anxiety and worry did not completely disappear. Then, perhaps seeing my state of mind, Paul suddenly started talking to me like this.
Do you believe in fortune-telling?
What? Why are you asking me this all of a sudden? Fortune-telling?
For example, if today's fortune was bad and the situation is like now, do you think that the fortune-telling was right?
Well, I guess so.
Then, when your fortune is good and something good happens to you, for example, you get a promotion or a business deal, do you think it is because your fortune was good?
No, I don't think so. I think it is the result of my effort and hard work.
That's right. So in the end, things depend on how you look at them. You can see a situation like this as the worst thing you've ever experienced in your life, or you can think of it as a rare experience. So there is no point panicking in situations like this. It is important to decide for yourself what kind of feelings you want to have about the events that happen as they flow by. I listened to Paul's words, and it went right to my heart. I may have the tendency to see everything in a bad and negative light, but I think it's not easy to stay positive in a situation like this. Then, what about you? Are you enjoying this situation? No, not at all. Actually, I'm depressed and disappointed.
Huh?
I'm supposed to go to a business meeting today that decides the company's future, but it's in an office in a different building. But my stomach hurt, and I remember that the restrooms in this office building on the way here are clean. I don't like dirty toilets, you know. The first floor restroom was being cleaned, and I couldn't use it, so I jumped on the elevator when it came. I pushed the button for the 5th floor, but it stopped, and that's how I ended up where I am now. My business meeting time has already passed, my stomach is aching, and I'm in the biggest pinch of my life. Come to think of it, I was at the bottom of the fortune-telling list today. Maybe that's why.
He said it so naturally that I couldn't help but laugh. You're in a much more difficult situation than I am, aren't you? And yet, you said what you said just now.
Because you looked quite upset.
That's true. I was wondering why you were so relaxed.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to relax, even for a bit.
Now is the time for you to exercise your positive thinking, isn't it?
No. If I do that and relax myself, my stomach would probably get relaxed too, and that would be a bad thing.
I laughed out loud. I had always pushed myself to work, so someone like him was very new to me. Soon after, the rescue team arrived. Thank you very much. Thanks to you, I didn't panic.
No, but I can't take it anymore, so can I go to the bathroom?
Please do so. I'm sorry for holding you back. Paul then ran to the restroom. This was how I first met him. The second time came much sooner than I thought. It was when I was walking around town after work. I spotted a man selling paintings on the street. I was looking at the paintings lined up, thinking that they were unique but somehow fascinating.
If there are some other sceneries or anything you would like to see, I'll paint them for you.
A man sitting cross-legged in front of me said so, and I looked at him. Oh, you're...
Huh? Did we meet somewhere already before?
See, about 2 weeks ago, we were trapped together in an elevator.
Oh, you're from that time. What are you doing here?
No, that's my line. I was surprised to see you selling your paintings on the street. Do you do this kind of activity as a hobby?
Oh no, I got fired from my last company.
What?
In my case, I went into a building that I shouldn't have gone to use the restroom, so there was no excuse for what I did.
So now you sell paintings?
Yes, I do. I thought it's best to do what I've always wanted to do. I thought it was a good opportunity to do that.
And are you making any money?
Not at all. But that's how it is at first. But I don't want to be recognized as an artist after I die, though.
I was once again attracted by his unconcerned attitude. At the time, I had just made a mistake at work and was feeling down. Then, please give me this $30 painting.
What? Really? Thank you very much.
It was so cute to see Paul so happy like that. After that, I started seeing him and asked him out to dinner. Then I confessed my feelings for him and we started to go out. He had already cancelled his lease and was moving from one friend's house to another, so I invited him to my house to live with me. He was a very good cook and did perfect housework, allowing me to concentrate on my work to the best of my ability. Apparently, the fact that he was able to move from one friend's house to another was rather useful because he was doing housework at a housekeeper's level. He was really easy to live with because he usually had a laid-back personality that really helped me relax as well. I didn't want to let him go, so I proposed to him, which I never thought I would do. He was surprised, but when I told him how I felt, he accepted my proposal. We got married and had a happy family, but there was one problem, and that was my husband's parents, Lily and Jason. Both of them didn't bully me or anything, but they were surprisingly greedy. Hey, Sasha, I want this brand bag.
I want this motorcycle.
What? But I don't know what to say. Huh? Because you work for a major international company. Of course, you'd gift your parents these kind of things, right? No. Why should I even gift you these things?
We're the parents. It's a child's duty to gift these things to the parents to show how grateful you are to us.
No, I'm just your son's wife. You also become our child when you get married to our son. Don't be stingy, just buy them. But we gave you gifts for Mother's Day and Father's Day last time, didn't we? I don't care when or how many gifts you give. You can give gifts anytime you want, right? No, my savings are decreasing too, so...
It will be fine. Sasha, you earn enough money anyway.
There were many times when Lily and Jason persistently made requests like this, and I ended up buying them their gifts. I was indeed troubled, but I also wanted to get along with them because they were my husband's parents. so I couldn't really talk to my husband about it. Then one day my parents-in-law did something outrageous.
Sasha, I want to show you something today.
Huh? What is it?
That's something you'll have to wait and see.
With that, my in-laws took me somewhere in their car. My husband had just gone out with his friends. I was anxious to see where they were taking me. Then we stopped in front of a house in an upscale residential area. Where is this?
Are you surprised? This is our new house where Jason and I will live from now on.
What? I was surprised. To be honest, it is a very luxurious house that doesn't really suit my parents-in-law. I didn't think Jason and Lily would be able to afford the rent with the money they earn. Wow, you two made a bold purchase, didn't you?
Yes, it was. But I'd be so happy to spend my retirement in such a nice house like this.
I can brag about it to all my friends.
Well, my in-laws are free to define their own happiness however they want, so I can't really say anything about it. They have always come to visit us at our apartment, so if they buy a new house for themselves, they may have less chance to come here. That might be a good thing. Then I'd have more time with my own husband. I'm happy for you two. I'm glad you two are going to enjoy your life here.
Yeah, we're really happy.
Well then, Sasha, let's get down to business. I'll be counting on you to pay the mortgage.
Excuse me? What on earth are you talking about?
Because you're paid well, right? Then you can at least pay us the mortgage, right?
No. What are you talking about? There's no way I would pay such a thing.
Why not? If you thought of us, you would pay it, don't you?
No, this doesn't make any sense at all. How much is the loan anyway?
It's a 15-year loan. $2,000 per month.
What? That's even more impossible. This is just unacceptable.
Wait a minute. We'll be in trouble if you don't pay up. There's no way we can afford it.
I'm sorry, but that's impossible. Please, give up. Saying that, I ran and left, got a taxi and went home. What in the world were my in-laws thinking about? They were being outrageous, asking me to pay their mortgage like that. I managed to escape at that time, but my in-laws were very persistent. They kept calling me, sending me messages after messages, and even barging into my office.
Hey Sasha, just pay the mortgage as soon as possible.
All you have to do is wire me the $2,000.
Even though I refused every single time, my parents-in-law never gave up. They even came to my parents' house and asked me to convince their daughter. They were so insistent that I almost became neurotic. Then my husband seemed to notice that I was having a hard time.
What's wrong? If something's bothering you, you should talk about it to me.
Okay. I must have had enough. I told my husband everything. I was crying as I talked.
I see. I had no idea my mom and dad did that.
I'm sorry. I know they're your parents and I wanted to get close with them, but...
No, I'm the one who's sorry. I didn't realize that at all. I can't believe I put you through that much trouble. Okay, I'll take care of it then.
Huh? Then my husband started making a phone call to somewhere, and he was moving around in a hurry. I was really surprised to find out about the plan my husband had made. I didn't know he was that kind of person. And in no time at all, things were going according to my husband's plan. Incidentally, my in-laws were visiting the company where I worked once again to make me pay their mortgage.
Please, let us talk to Sasha.
Is this for a business meeting or something?
We're her in-laws. We need to talk to her about something very personal. Please, contact her immediately.
I'm sorry, but we don't have anyone by the name of Sasha in our company.
What? Did she quit the company by any chance?
I can't tell you those details because it's personal information.
Let's call Sasha right now.
Oh no, she's not answering.
What the? What about Paul?
I can't get connected to him.
Oh no.
The receptionist at the office told me later that she had talked to my in-laws like that. Jason and Lily were also surprised that other people were living in the house where my husband and I were living, and they came over to my parents' house to ask what was going on. My parents sent them away, saying that they would not tell them where I was, and that they would call the police if they stayed there any longer. Then there were many messages from my in-laws to me, but we continued to ignore them all. Then, a year passed.
Should I contact them now?
With that, my husband replied to my in-laws.
Are you two okay?
Then the message was immediately read, and we got a phone call from them.
Paul, where are you right now?
We're in a serious situation here. You guys bought the house all on your own, didn't you? I mean, I won't forgive you for trying to make Sasha pay for your mortgage.
I'm sorry about that, but I'll make it last this time, so please help us out.
What's the situation now?
Oh, after all that, we ended up giving up the house, but the value of the house dropped as soon as we bought it, and we're in about $200,000 debt. We've been borrowing from other consumer lenders to pay the debt.
I'm at the point where I can't borrow any more money though.
So please, get Sasha here as soon as possible. I mean, you guys don't even have to see us, just please transfer the money.
That's enough. I'm not going to let Sasha get involved with you two anymore. I'm not going to get involved either. I only called you today to tell you that I'm cutting ties with you two.
Oh no!
Wait a minute. If you abandon us, then you two should repent for what you both have done. But it's already too late. See you later.
With that, my husband hung up the phone and erased and blocked all of his parents' contact information. I don't know what happened to my parents-in-law, but they probably became unable to repay their debts and disappeared into the darkness. By the way, my husband and I are currently living abroad to escape from my parents-in-laws. My husband had a close friend living overseas when he was a backpacker, and he contacted his friend and asked him to arrange housing and such. I then left my job and followed my husband. The great thing about my husband was that he also had another friend there who was an excellent manager, and he introduced me to him. He interviewed me remotely, and I was hired right away to the company where he works at. That allowed us to live abroad for a salary not that much different from what I made previously, and now we get to live in a pretty nice house. Furthermore, my husband was selling his paintings on the streets there as well, and he was able to get them placed in a local museum, which allowed him to bring in quite a bit of income from his paintings. He now earns as much as I do, and we are quite well off. And now I have given birth to a child, and our family of 3 is living happily. It's crazy that Jason and Lily were even trying to collect their mortgage from Sasha. They both deserve what they got. By the way, Sasha's husband is an amazing guy. It sounds like Sasha would never get tired of spending every day with a guy like him. I wish Sasha a happy life with her family in the future. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video.
Hey, Marley, do you know what you've done? What kind of nerve do you have to abandon your duties as a wife and cause trouble for Rory? You really are the worst kind of wife. I'm going to teach you a thing or two.
Katie, there's a reason why I left.
It doesn't matter. We're moving into a new, beautiful apartment. If you want to move in with us, I'll tell you where our new home is.
I'm sure that Katie still doesn't know anything about the truth. So to me, I thought this was a good thing. No thank you.
Huh?
My name is Marley. I am a 35-year-old office worker. My husband Rory and I have been married for 5 years. My husband is now 40 years old, 5 years older than me. I used to like older men, and I was attracted to him because he was kind and calm. And we continued our relationship as a couple and got married eventually. Married life was happy in its own way. However, a few months ago, my peaceful life began to fade away.
I got fired.
What? My husband was suddenly laid off. The reason was that the company's business condition had worsened due to the recession. I had never imagined that my husband would be laid off, because he worked for a major company. I thought we would be able to live without worrying about money with his good salary. But I guess the reality is cruel sometimes. Before I knew it, we were in a really tight spot. I was a housewife, but I decided to work right away. I contacted the company I had left when I got married, but luckily they agreed to hire me. Apparently, there was an employee who had just left the company since she got married. I was relieved to know that I was in safe hands, finding a place to work. If my husband could find a new job, we would be fine. However, re-employment for a middle-aged man like him is a bit tough, and my husband had no choice but to work part-time. His part-time salary averaged about $700 per month. Since I began to work after 5 years of blank, my salary is not that high. At this rate, we are barely scraping by. Hey, the rent is a bit expensive here, so why don't we move? I think it would be better to find a cheaper place and save for now. To make life easier, we still need to lower our fixed costs. Until now, I had been living in a reasonably good apartment because of my husband's good salary. But I should take a hard look at reality and live in an apartment that is much more cheaper than the one we are living in now. But my husband was against my suggestion.
No, we're not moving from here.
What? Why not?
If we move to a smaller and cheaper apartment than where we're living right now, my mother will ask me the reason, you know?
I didn't understand what he meant. Why don't you just tell the truth to your mother? That we were having a hard time making ends meet because you got laid off due to the recession. When I said that, my husband's face turned red and he raised his voice.
Stop it. Don't ever tell my mother that I got laid off. We can pay the rent with your salary and my earnings. So why don't we just leave it as is?
I was surprised and disappointed at the same time. Is his pride and vanity more important than protecting our married life? Even though we're barely able to pay the rent, our life is so difficult that we can't save any money at all, which is why I was proposing to move out like this to him. But my husband would not even try to understand my point when it came to this, so I had no choice but to give it up. After that, life continued to be difficult. In the midst of all this, my husband said this to me.
Hey, is this all you cooked for dinner today? You used to cook a lot more dishes. You're not skipping work just because you started working, are you? You should be more efficient in balancing work and family.
My husband's words made me angry, so I argued back. It can't be helped. Our life is really in a tight spot right now. I'm doing my best at home and at work. Someone is too proud that he insists on living here that I have no choice but to cut back on food expenses. Or maybe if he could just go and earn more money, that would be better. When I said this in a provocative way, my husband snapped.
What the heck? Don't say that to me, like you're trying to get back at me. You just wait and watch. I'll get another job at a major company and earn more money than you.
That's how angry my husband was. I thought he was being annoying, but I convinced myself that if this had motivated my husband, that was fine. However, my husband, who was originally unable to find a new job and had to work part-time, would never be able to find a new job, even if he became motivated now. I could understand if he studied a lot and got different qualifications or something like that to prove his skills, but he didn't do anything like that, and he just worked part-time. My husband got fed up by the interviewers at every job interview, and having to please the interviewers, who were all most likely younger than him, and eventually stopped job hunting. I was disappointed that he had given up after declaring what he had said and saying he would earn more money than me. And it is not only my husband that I am worried about. I just received another call earlier today. It was my mother-in-law, Katie, who'd call me even though I was at work. In the morning alone, there were more than 10 missed calls from her. When I returned the call during my lunch break, Katie's voice was screaming from the other end of the line.
Hey, you should answer the phone right away.
I told you last time that I was at work, didn't I?
I don't care about your stupid work. You better prioritize my calls.
Since Katie lost her husband a year ago, she has been calling me a lot. Perhaps it was because she felt lonely, but her phone calls felt like they were always trying to monitor me, asking me if I was properly supporting her son. And recently, when she heard that I had started working, she got angry like a demon, and now she is calling me at work like this.
So, I wonder if you're discussing with Rory properly. I haven't gotten a straight answer from him at all.
I'm sorry, but we can't live together, Katie.
I'm not asking for your opinion. I don't think Rory would be opposed to that idea.
No, my husband also says that we can't right now. Besides, we are in a difficult financial situation right now.
What do you mean? Rory works for a major company. He's well paid, so he should be able to afford to live.
I am always at a loss for words when she'd say things like that to me. I'm not allowed to tell Katie about Rory being laid off, so he can't tell her the truth either. Therefore, Katie assumes that I am selfishly working but lying about how hard it is to make ends meet. Katie's phone calls are insistent, not only when I am at work, but also when I am home in the evening.
Generally speaking, a wife should make it her priority to support her own husband, and taking care of her husband means taking care of his mother too. You haven't come to see me at all recently. You should come visit here.
I'm exhausted from my full-time job as an office worker, and my husband works on shift during weekend as well. That's why our days off don't match. I'm sorry, we're both very busy and our schedules don't really work out.
I don't care about your schedule. Besides, Rory is off on weekends, right? He can come either way.
Katie must be very frustrated with me because she kept insisting us to visit her. I thought it was time for me to give up, so I tried to tell her the truth about my husband. No, my husband is currently working on weekends and…
Huh? What do you mean?
Actually… As I was about to tell the truth, my husband, who had been lying on the sofa watching TV earlier, ran up to me and took my phone.
Oh, Mom, I'm sorry. I haven't been able to visit you lately. I'm actually working on a big project right now, and I'm also working on my days off. I'll come see you after I get settled with work.
With that, my husband hung up the phone and handed it back to me. What are you doing?
Why were you trying to tell my mother the truth?
Let's just talk honestly to her about the truth. If we continue on like this, she'll always misunderstand.
I'm sorry, but don't tell my mother about it.
Why don't you just let go of that petty pride already?
Shut up. I've been providing for you all this time. Yet how dare you talk to me like that?
With these words, my husband retreated to his room. I'm already stressed out because we're barely making ends meet, but when his mother-in-law's criticism and my husband's selfishness were added to the mix, it's just too much for me. My husband says his job is too much work and does not do any housework. He works on weekends and once or twice a week during the weekdays. Since he's capable of working, I would like to see him increase his income by taking on other part-time jobs or a full-time job. Or I want him to learn how to take care of the house and take the initiative to do the chores. I decided to leave home for a while because I was fed up with my husband who complained about various things, even though he wasn't doing it, and leaving all the housework to me. And plus, I was making more money than him. I decided to go back to my parents' house for a week or so to show my husband how hard housework is. I had told my parents in detail about the current situation at home, so they told me that I should just get a divorce as soon as possible. Yet I had been romantically married to my husband, and we had been married for 5 years, so I did not want to go through a divorce so easily. I thought that if I was going to divorce him, I would do everything I could to try to improve the situation, and if that didn't work, I would divorce him. Sure enough, when I returned to my parents' house, I received a phone call from my husband.
Hey, when are you coming home? Where's my dinner?
I won't be home for a while, so do all the housework in the meantime by yourself.
Huh? You've got to be kidding me. Don't be stupid, just come home and do the housework.
No, I won't. I'll make you understand how hard house chores are. You have to clean the house, do the laundry, and cook all by yourself. So you'll know how hard it was for me to do all that while I'm working. I said that as I hung up the phone. My husband had called me many times, but I ignored all of them. For the first time in a long time, life at my parents' house was very relaxing. The three of us could share the housework with my father and my mother would say, "Aren't you tired?" and she served us many home-cooked meals. I really appreciated the fact that I didn't have to do anything and the meals got served. So I stayed at my parents' house for about a week. I really wanted to stay a little longer, but my parents' house is quite far from my workplace, and it takes me an hour and a half each way to commute, which is hard, and I thought it was about time my husband understood how hard housework is. Then I came home for the first time in a long time. I was worried that it might be dirty, but the rooms were cleaner than I had expected. But I felt somewhat uneasy. Could it be? I went to check my husband's room and found that the clothes and suitcases in his closet were gone. I thought to myself, he must have gone to his parents' place. I thought so and called my husband.
Oh, you're calling me now, huh?
Where are you right now?
I'm at my parents' house.
You went to your parents' house right after I left, is that right?
That's right.
What are you doing? That doesn't make any sense.
You shouldn't have left in the first place, right? I'm already angry. I'm not going back to that house.
What do you mean?
I'm going to live with my mom.
You mean you're going back to your parents' house?
Yeah, and I'm not just going back. I'm moving into a new apartment with her.
What? I didn't understand what he meant. As I was at a loss for words, the voice on the phone changed. Hey, Marley? Do you realize what you've done? What kind of nerve do you have to abandon your duty as a wife and cause trouble for Rory? You really are the worst kind of wife. I'll make sure to teach a thing or two to you. Katie, there's a reason I left. It doesn't matter. We're moving into a new beautiful apartment. You want to come too, don't you? If you want to move in with us, I'll tell you where our new place is. I am sure Katie still doesn't know anything about the real truth. To me, I thought this was a great opportunity. No thank you. Huh? I immediately refused, and Katie sounded dumb since she didn't expect that from me. So I said, I'm not going to live with you guys. Are you serious? If Rory is going to live with me, that means you will live alone unless you come over here. You can't live alone, can you? Don't worry, I have enough money to live by myself. If we don't live together, there's no need for us to be a couple. So, I'm divorcing my husband. What? I said the word divorce, and I could hear Katie and my husband's surprised voices over the phone.
Wait a minute, Marley. There's no need for that, right?
I can't stay married to you anymore. I want to get rid of a useless husband like you as soon as possible. When I said that and made fun of my husband, Katie snapped. How dare you talk to Rory like that? I don't want a wife like you. Rory, hurry up and get a divorce.
No.
I'll get the divorce papers. You rude woman. Make sure you regret asking for a divorce. It's too late to apologize now. I will return the same exact words to you, Katie. As I said that, the phone went dead. Perhaps Katie and my husband will come here with the divorce papers. I am thankful that things are going my way, though. I have already given up on my husband completely when he went back to Katie's place without trying to reflect about his own actions. There is no way he will ever change. Then there is no need for us to be together. I decided to pack my bags until Katie and Rory arrived. A few hours later, Katie came over alone. Oh, Rory's not here? I don't need him to see you. Here you go. I've already made Rory sign his section. You sign your part as soon as possible too. With these words, Katie thrusted the divorce papers at me. I think my husband's handwriting is all trembly. He really is a kind-hearted child. Rory was reluctant to divorce even though you're such a lousy wife to him. I will never forgive you for causing trouble to such a wonderful person. I hope you live a poor, sad life. I regret it. While I was filling out my part of the form, Katie kept on saying bad things to me. I guess my husband's pride got in the way and he couldn't tell Katie the truth until the very end. He really is a pathetic man after all. What did you do with your house? Oh, I sold it. So even if you come over, you can't live there. No, I won't do that. How much did you sell it for? It was pretty old, so it won't sell for a high price. That's none of your business.
but I'll tell you since I'm nice. It sold for about $50,000. It's not much, but it will be enough for my retirement, and Rory will pay the rent for the new apartment.
Wow, I'm surprised he got approved for the mortgage.
What are you talking about? Rory is a well-paid man, so it's only natural.
Did you put that $50,000 into Rory's account by any chance?
Huh? Yes, how did you know? I mean, who cares? Don't pry into my affairs anymore, since you're divorcing Rory. It's obvious you're still hung up on him. But it's too late for that.
And don't worry, I've agreed to the divorce. I'll file the divorce papers. When I said that, Katie left. I was overjoyed to be free from Katie and Rory. I packed up the rest of my belongings and moved them to my parents' house. Then looked for an apartment for myself and signed a contract. Incidentally, I successfully provoked Katie so that I could get rid of the property division.
I can't hand over Rory's valuable property to you.
The pale face of my husband, who was participating in the discussion about the division of property, is funny, even now when I remember it. One day, about 2 years later, I received a phone call from an unknown number. Who on earth could it be in the morning before work? Thinking it might be a work-related call, I picked up the phone and to my surprise, it was my ex-mother-in-law.
Oh, Marley, please help me.
Oh, Katie. I can't have you calling me. We are strangers now.
Please, don't say that. I'm in a lot of trouble.
What? You two can't pay the rent on the apartment anyway, and your savings have run out, and you're in trouble. Is that it?
How'd you know?
So, you didn't know about him getting laid off, huh?
What? You knew about it?
Yes, I knew and tried to tell you many times, but every time I did, Rory would stop me from telling you.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry, Marley, I didn't know anything. I apologize, so will you come back again?
I don't want to. That man would never change no matter how much I tell him. You have always bullied me too. I don't want to spend time with people like you two again.
Please, don't say that. I don't have anything to eat anymore and I'm really at my wit's end.
According to Katie, my husband has been paying rent out of the $50,000 that she got from selling the family home without telling her about him being laid off, because he has been trying to look good to her. He thought Katie would get suspicious if he didn't show her how extravagant he was sometimes, so he went on expensive shopping sprees and also treated her out to expensive meals. Because he continued such a lifestyle, the $50,000 savings were all gone in no time, and they're now penniless. You both deserve it. Why don't you two put aside your stupid prides and live modestly in a cheap apartment?
It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was supposed to have an excellent son, take care of me, and live a comfortable life until I pass away.
Katie would cry like that over the phone. I just quietly hung up the phone and blocked all incoming calls. I also put a restraining order against them just in case, so if anything happened, I could report on them immediately. I guess both of them only know how to lean on someone else. I'll learn from them not to be like that and be independent. With this thought in mind, I remotivated myself and continued my work. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video.
I'm thinking of giving my folks a spare key to our new pad.
Hold up. What now?
I just figured it'd be cool to have Mom and the crew pop in whenever.
That's a hard no from me.
If that's how you feel, maybe we should just split.
Man, could he be any more high-handed? Alright then. Drew, thinking he'd called my bluff, sported this smug look. But little did he know I was cool with the split, not his crazy key idea. He and his mom were in for quite the surprise. I'm Tammy, clocking in at 36 and working from the comfort of my home. Drew and I have been married for 10 years. Our squad includes Mark, our 9-year-old son. All in all, we've been pretty solid. But real talk, it's a wonder we've hit the 10-year mark. Honestly, sticking it out might have been for our son. I first crossed paths with Drew during a group hangout. Back in the day, he was killing it as a top dog at some big-time company. He had it all: charisma, a fat wallet, and he wasn't too old. Checks all around. He made his move, things clicked, and before we knew it, we were head over heels. Fast forward about 18 months, and boom! Rings and plans to say I do. We met the folks, threw a bash, and jumped into the whole married thing. We were flying high for a year till our little man came along. That's when the storm hit. You mom jitters, right? I tried getting real with Drew, but he goes off script and dials his mom, Lucy. He said,
"She's got your back."
I was just trying to vibe with my hubby, not get the in-law involved. But surprise, Lucy's on deck every single day.
Chill, Tammy. I've got the mom thing down. I'll show you the ropes.
No thanks. I wanted to wing it myself, but she had comments for days.
Nope, that's not it. Listen to me if you want Mark to turn out okay.
Honestly, she was a piece of work. Anytime I swerved from her playbook, fireworks, and she's over all the time racking up my grocery bill. She'd raid our kitchen like she owned it. And the clincher? Drew gave her a key. She'd just roll in, no heads up. She scared me to death the first time she popped in. Dealing with Lucy drama was a total newlywed nightmare. I tried having a heart-to-heart with Drew, but Mr. Oblivious just sang praises about his mama. I wanted to talk to you about your mom.
Isn't she great?
He was so not getting it. I broke down Lucy's never-ending critiques, the snack race, and the dent in our wallet.
Are you sure?
She won't listen to anything I say because everything she says and does is the only right way. He flipped.
She's doing us a favor. Can't you be thankful? She raised me right. You should be rolling out the red carpet, even if it means throwing some cash her way.
Whoa, paying her? That never crossed my mind.
You sound so ungrateful. Maybe she needs to set you straight.
What? Oh boy, that backfired. Lucy came back with an even tighter leash. It was like she amped up the mean setting. She'd throw zingers like,
"Seriously, with your genes, I worry for Mark."
Why was I putting up with this BS? It was soul-crushing. Divorce was looking real good. But plot twist, Drew got wind of a transfer.
It's a step up for me, but you'd want to keep things status quo, right?
I jumped on that like, let's pack.
Are you sure? But you have Mom's help here.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've been thinking of diving back into work too.
If that's how you feel.
Moving was best news ever. Must have been a silver lining. I'm lucky enough to have a gig I can rock from home, so it really doesn't matter where we set up shop. This means I can roll with him wherever his job takes him. After that decision, we hit the road and landed in a whole new state.
If you guys jet off to another state, who's gonna keep an eye on things?
Lucy wasn't thrilled, but inside I was doing a victory dance. No, Lucy, that's a recipe for chill vibes all day. At last, just the three of us, starting fresh, kicking off our new life. It was even better than I'd hoped. Just the sheer joy of no drop-ins from her during the day was a breath of fresh air. I'd drop my little man off at daycare, hustle at my home office, and manage the home front. Heck, I'd even whip up dinner before grabbing him from daycare. Everything's on my clock and I'm the captain of my time. Sweet deal, right? Plus, I get to soak up all the moments with my son. Park strolls, shopping sprees, and just good old quality time. By dinner, Drew's back and it's all about family vibes. This was the dream. The joy I felt now was miles away from the days Lucy would micromanage my every move. If I could toss a wish into the universe, it'd be to stick around here forever. And guess what? The universe listened. For 6 years, no transfer for my man. Our son turned 8, got into swimming, and man, watching him in the pool was pure gold. He's this awesome, kind-hearted little dude with a group of friends. But of course, right when he's loving life, hubby's transfer kicks in. Back to square one, near the in-laws. Ugh. But hey, we roll as a team, so off we went. My boy was bummed about leaving his squad, even had a little send-off bash. 6 years later, we're back and we snagged a rental. True to form, my social butterfly of a son made new friends in no time. Big win. But the dark cloud? Yup, Lucy. I knew she'd be back in the mix before I could blink. And yup, on her first day off, she's at our door, all smiles and cheer.
It's like a family reunion. Missed you all.
Was it us she missed or just her favorite pastime, nagging yours truly? Total buzzkill. And yup, she's back to her old routine, popping by on the regular. Lucy, you're making this a habit?
Problem?
Mark's big now, I'm good on my own. No need for the Lucy watch anymore.
So, you're saying I'm like an unwanted guest? Wait till I chat with Drew.
So extra. Every time she'd swing by, my whole flow would get thrown off. Work vibes are interrupted, extra chores are piled up, so I put my foot down. Lucy, why the frequent pop-ins? Got nothing going on at your place? She shot me the stink eye.
Not your concern. I'm taking time out for you.
I didn't ask for it.
Seriously? You're gonna backtalk your mother-in-law?
Is this a power trip for you?
How dare you? You've gotten yourself some attitude in these 6 years, huh? Respect your elders, missy.
Then act like an elder worth respecting.
The nerve! What a wife you are.
She huffed, getting all red.
Whip up some lunch?
Lunch for you? Why?
Well, I'm here, aren't I?
Uninvited.
You're impossible.
Takes one to know one.
This isn't working.
Then maybe it's time to head out?
I would have left even if you hadn't said so.
She stormed out, and I got back to my grind. But between our showdown and playing catch-up, the day flew by. Got my work squared away, prepped dinner, and in walks my son. And that night, as predictable as ever, Drew comes home with storm clouds in his eyes.
Hey, Mom told me. She said you gave her the cold shoulder and showed her the door?
Whoa, hold up. She left on her own accord.
No talking back. She was stoked about spending quality time. Why ice her out?
Please, she wasn't here for the cutie. She was game for giving me grief.
Mom's not like that.
Every time there's a showdown with Lucy, he just tunes me out. It's like she can do no wrong in his eyes. He's completely whipped when it comes to her. It's always Team Lucy, never Team us. Just as I'm mulling this over, my son chimes in.
You know, I've seen Grandma go all drill sergeant on Mom too.
Drew looked like he'd seen a ghost when our son said that.
She's constantly on Mom's case and it sucks watching it.
No way, that's legit.
Why would Mark make stuff up? He's spot on. She's always on my case. I finally stood my ground. With our son laying down the truth, his comeback game was weak.
She wouldn't really, was she?
He trailed off, looking lost in thought. Mad props to my boy for speaking up. Saved me a ton of stress. I'm thinking he deserves his favorite goodies next time. A quadruple serving, maybe. Lucy tried to stage another drop-in, but I wasn't having it.
Why is the door staying shut?
I'm not in the mood for another Lucy interruption.
Oh, just hush.
Despite her doorbell serenade, I kicked back in my office, cranked up my playlist, and drowned out the outside world. She tried making it a regular thing, but I kept her on the outside, looking in.
Seriously? You think ghosting me at the door is cool?
You roll up unannounced and act like you own the place. How about tidying up your own digs?
Excuse you? Buzz me in.
Door-kicking antics commenced. Chill, or I'm dialing 911.
What? You're gonna play the cop card?
You're the one channeling your inner soccer hooligan on my door.
You're giving me the silent treatment.
It's called setting boundaries.
But I'm family.
Yeah, but boundaries exist even with family members. To me, you might as well be a door-to-door salesperson. Keep it up and I'll really call the police.
All right. Message received, I'm out.
And with that, she bounced. Sure enough, hubby was all kinds of salty later, but once he got an earful of the audio evidence, he was straight out of words. Maybe now he gets how off the rails his mom's been. She hit pause on her surprise visits. Thank goodness. I bet he had a chat with her. After that, smooth sailing. We even started pooling cash for a new place. A crib to call our own has always been the goal. Fast forward a bit, after a bunch of builder chats and planning, our dream home is now a reality. Chatting away about how stoked I was for the new pad with my son, out of the blue, my husband goes,
I'm thinking of giving my folks a spare key.
Hold up. What now?
Thought it'd be chill if they dropped by whenever. Mom's kind of turned a new leaf, and wouldn't it be cool if we all got along?
That's a hard no from me.
Huh?
Haven't I spelled out the drama she stir up? Handing them a key ain't happening on my watch.
If that's how you feel, maybe we should just split.
The guy was fuming, face all red, banging on the table. Was he for real? Never seen that side of him. Kinda put the brakes on my warm fuzzies. Alright then. He got all smug.
Good. Settled.
But little did he know I was cool with the split, not his crazy key idea. He and his mom were in for quite the surprise. Behind his back, I began shipping stuff over to my folks' place. Got movers to swing by their place earlier than our move-out date to haul everything to the new digs. After getting comfy, I had a deep conversation with my parents. Then Drew calls in, all panicky.
Yo, what's going on? Why's all your and Mark's stuff MIA?
'Cause we're already at the new place.
Wait, what? Our move was next week. Why go rogue on me?
It's a wrap for us.
Huh?
You're the one who brought up the divorce in the first place.
Hold up, by alright you meant...
Yep, I was on board with splitting.
You can't be serious. No way, I'm cool with this.
And hung up. Half an hour later, I hear some fumbling at the door. Peeked out, and sure enough, it's him and Mama Drama. Kept the door on the latch, and he's like,
Why's the key not working?
What did you do to my son's house?
As they're losing it, I go, Lucy, you thought this was your son's place? Nah, it's mine. His mom was all frazzled. Lucy, did you miss the memo? I paid for this place with my engineering gig. It's in my name. I decide the locks.
Drew, tell me she's messing with us. She is joking, right? This is your place, isn't it?
He looked away all deflated. Once it hit her, she looked wrecked. I told her straight up. Not my problem. Bounce.
Tammy, I never signed off on a divorce. Let's hash this out. I promise, no key talk. Can I come in?
Trust is broken, Drew. Let's loop in our lawyers. Hang around and I'm dialing 911. They split real quick. Long story short, my lawyer wrapped up the divorce and got child support locked in for Mark. Rumor has it, Drew and his mom got the boot from their place and are now in some beat-up apartment, pinching pennies with the child support. Karma's a trip. Mark and I are living the dream. I might have my folks move in, Mark's all about it, and I see nothing but good times on the horizon. I'm going to hustle and make sure he gets the best life.